stage, I invite you to act as the role of shark in the Shark Tank show. That is right. You are a billionaire investor for the next 12 minutes.
All right.
Our tenacious speaker is going to pitch an idea for you to invest in his enterprise. Edward Chavan is an entrepreneur at heart. He started his first enterprise called AIM in 2005, and he still operates it profitably. His second enterprise, called Piozo, in 2015. If the pattern continues, he will start his next enterprise in 2025. Edward's speech is based on a Pathways Project number 3, researching and presenting. The speech title is A Golden Queen Bee. Please help me welcome Edward Chavan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, SMLers. Obviously, you are all sharks in our shark tank. Maybe I should have called a walleye tank since we are in Minnesota, right? Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Jamie. Let me ask you a question. You all know the good old fable, Golden Goose, from Aesop's days. Let us borrow that idea, golden goose, into a golden spider. In this example, golden spider spawns, weaves golden fiber. And let us also borrow that idea as a golden queen bee. In this example, all these bees, they collect golden nectar from different places. So now you have a choice as shark investors. Would you choose to invest in golden goose, or would you choose to invest in a golden spider that weaves golden fiber, or would you choose to invest in a golden queen bee that spawns other bees, worker bees, golden worker bees that go away, collect golden nectar? You are an investor. What choice would you make as an investor with all the risk, reward, opportunities, and the threats that these investment opportunities bring? I'm going to open it up. Who think investing in a golden goose is safer, maybe that is more attractive than investing in a golden spider? Can somebody give me some feedback? Anybody wants to share your ideas? When would you choose to invest in a golden goose over a golden spider?
When you have one big thing that you want to look at, I would invest in the golden. One big thing that I was looking at, as opposed to many smaller things that are more finer, refined.
All right, thank you, Mr. Investor, shark investor, please.
I would want to know what is the total output of the goose, the spider, and the bee?
Excellent question, right, Carol? Golden goose, it lays 1 egg a day. Golden spider, 24 hours a day, except when the spider sleeps and eats, it weaves and weaves and weaves golden fiber. You may ask the size of the golden egg, right, Carol? That's another factor to invest.
Yeah.
I would want to know the valuation of the goose versus the spider.
That's right. Yeah. So in this case, who gets to evaluate? It's the individual investor can do his, her own Google research and what is the throughput and what was your question, Pat? Repeat that question.
So I'd like to know the valuation, how it's valued, how
do
you
you
value
value
it.
That's right. As an investor, you are going to evaluate, you may be getting some expert opinion, or you may be calling your friend, or you may be evaluating based on your past investment experience. So we compared the golden goose and the golden spider. Now let us compare the golden spider and the golden queen bee. When would you invest on a golden queen bee? When would you invest on a golden spider? Anybody wants to chime in? Yeah, we have 2 hands.
All right, the golden queen bee, golden nectar, so I would imagine that would have to do a little bit more with liquid assets. So perhaps.
Okay. I love it. Okay, I'm going to go on your side for the investment. Please, Mark.
I'm curious about what your expenses are, or what you have to feed these
That's right.
different
Yeah.
things.
That's a cost
or provide.
involved. Anybody else want to chime in? All right, now that we have some understanding about 3 choices, you may be wondering, do I really have this money to invest in these opportunities? The short answer is yes, you have a lot of money. In fact, I'm going to ask you to open this little magical envelope in front of you. Do you remember the little envelope somebody planted, like a Christmas Santa Claus? So open the envelope, there's a green sheet. Open that green sheet, let us pull the green, let us give one for Anna. All right. All right, what do we have? Can somebody explain what do we have in your hand?
$6 million.
You got $6 million. That means you are ready to invest. In fact, I'm going to challenge you with this idea that I'm going to pitch. I'm going to ask you in your own mind, take the $6 million and invest whatever you feel that you feel in your heart in the idea that I'm going to pitch, and then invest the rest in the market, stock market, mutual fund, maybe some bond fund. A year from now, I'm hoping I will come back and I will be asking you to track your return on the investment in addition to the idea that I'm going to pitch right now. So it's a real deal. You got the money, you get to invest in a virtual way. Let us now look at some real world examples. In the 1800s, Alexander Graham Bell invented and marketed the telephone. In 2007, Steve Jobs reinvented the same telephone and introduced in the name of iPhone. And I am here to introduce to you in 2018 a golden queen bee, which I call Peasel. And it's spelled P-E-O, people, plus puzzle becomes Peasel, and the product, in fact there are 3 products that this enterprise launches, and I'm inviting you to consider investing based on the information I'm going to share with you. And what does this business do? It has created tools for employment agencies. So let us think about employment agencies. When I say employment agencies, what are some names come to your mind? Let us hear some names. I'm sure you can.
Robert Half.
Robert Half, yes.
Manpower.
Manpower, that's right. These are some examples. And now I have my own company and I have an open position. I need to fill people, one person for that position. So here is, of course, a position that I have. So let me ask you, what do you think, in order to fill this position, how many candidates, applicants I will have to work with? Can you throw some numbers? Carol?
You are advertising for a permanent position and taking in all applications that come and reading through all of them, this might be hundreds.
Good, good. That is exactly what Society of Human Resource Management magazine says. For a small company, to fill a position, small company, 100 people or less, it takes 94 applicants to finally have the seat filled. If it's a larger corporation, they are going to get more applicants, more interest. That number 94 becomes 129 applicants to fill one position. I'm going to invite you to go back to your envelope, to do a real feel. There are 2 more sheets inside the envelope to give you a feel of what effort the hiring manager needs to go through these 129 resumes. I'm going to ask you to look at it for 10 seconds, 15 seconds. What do you see? What do you have in your hand? You have a resume in your hand, right? So now, just to look at it, it takes time and effort to understand what is in that resume. Imagine you are now reading 100 resumes. How long is it going to take? By the time you look at these resumes, I have a feeling your brain is baked. Right? So you all agree, as a shark investor, we have a problem in our hand. So if I ask you, what would be an idea to solve, any thoughts how we can solve this problem of having to read 129 resumes? Anybody wants to chime in? Any solution that comes to your mind? All right. Yes, Jamie.
The electronic screening, so you can narrow it down to less applicants.
Electronic, right? You can do some search, maybe compare, make it faster, efficient. I saw another hand. Pat, you want to try?
Say somebody that actually pre-screened the candidates,
Pre-screen, right?
person,
All right.
a person,
Delegate that work to another agency, and they do that, maybe a person, maybe HR
trusted agency, a trusted person.
agency. I saw some hand on the side, maybe no. I'm going to keep going, right? So we have some solution in front of us. In fact, Peasel, our enterprise that I'm trying to pitch in front of you, has introduced exactly what Pat is describing, a variation of that. So I'm going to invite you, I know Toastmasters, we don't use cell phones, but from this point on, we are going to open the cell phone, increase the volume, and then I will ask you to turn off when this speech is done. So go ahead, open your electronic device. If anybody doesn't have an electronic device, I understand I brought extra devices with passcode. So it's up to you. Anybody needs a device or everybody has a device where you can use a browser. All right, everybody has a device. On the envelope, I wrote sml.peasel.com, a URL that I punched in. So go ahead, visit that URL, sml.peasel.com. So this is the solution that can help our hiring manager who has to go through these 129 physical printed copies. So if anybody needs help, and if you try to increase the volume, it has volume, audio capabilities. So who visited so far? Can somebody, all right, can somebody describe, one person, what do you see when you visited that website? Please.
It shows the applicant and it rates him on several different scales: aptitude, attitude, articulation. It gives a graph, several graphs, data versus leadership versus business aptitudes.
That's right. And it also, everything we have said at the bottom, even it has a compare. You are welcome to press that compare button. It shows what the hiring manager expected with what the candidate is offering as skill set. There's also in the first page, there's a video. I'm going to invite you to press the video. I know it's going to make some noise, but I invite you, I see somebody is playing already. So the candidate is presenting himself, herself, in this case Michael Dooley is presenting himself. You can, it goes for 1 minute, so you can stop it, you can play with it later. Also, there is a button right next to it. There's a download button, and there's another button. Go and click on that button. Can whoever clicked on a button, does it show up some white page? What?
Which button do you want us to click on?
Right below the name Michael Dooley, you will see there are two buttons. One has a little document icon, another one download icon. I'm asking you to click on the document icon.
Okay, and that's the resume we saw here.
Yes, the paper copy that you saw is now in front of you as an electronic copy. So what we are calling this interactive resume. And imagine my Shark Tanks having the solution, I believe, is going to change how we hire. We are in 2018. In 2028, I see this just like how iPhone didn't exist in 1998, it existed in 2018, 2008. This product we are launching, it will be a common solution to hire people. And some of you are having questions, right? I'm going to invite you. What are some doubts, questions, challenge as investors?
Okay,
Carol.
so how do people put together these resumes?
Yes.
And how do you score the aptitude, attitude, and articulation?
Yes.
And then also, this particular graph I noticed began at 7.8 and ran to 9.2. So there is that graphing thing where because you're focusing on the range of difference, someone glancing at it might go, oh, he's got low aptitude and low articulation, but no, he doesn't. It's just that it's all low.
Yeah, great question. How did we produce this? A team, since this is a new idea, we are automating all these. We will be taking the resume information, interview, different type of interview, interaction. We will be collecting all the data. It will be data-driven, machine learning technologies, all combining. We are putting together this graph, Carol. And over a period of time, we will be getting feedback and what we think the estimated, what we think actual. Over a period of time, it will learn by itself, and the value will get better and better and better. It will be more accurate.
So
over a
the
period of
idea
time.
then is that someone searching resumes could hear the actual potential employee talk, they give their elevator pitch,
Yes.
and you give a variety of graphical scores that say, well, how close a match is this person? So theoretically, I just scroll through each one and go, yeah, that one had a bigger area covered and therefore looks like a better fit. And then I see that you have basically their chronological resume history shown here, so that you can go, yeah, there are no gaps, and they don't seem to jump around a lot, or
Yes.
it figures out the timing aspect.
Yes, please. Yeah, it gives in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, you can quickly understand what the candidate brings to the table rather than trying to read our traditional resume. Now, you may be thinking, okay, we have this, how do we distribute? There are many players. Usually when we talk about in a employment scenario, there will be multiple players, right? Somebody plays the role of recruiter, account manager, hiring manager, screener, interviewer. There are many players. So how do we all give them this URL? What we have done is a system. With that system, all this information flows, what we call the workflow. So it's not just a URL resume, it's a system in which all the parties, Steve on the one side, hiring manager, Pat on the other side, screener, and candidate, they all can interact with the system with the name of Peasel. So it's not just a resume, it's a resume distribution system where you can say how much I want to get paid, what is the proposed rate, what is the expected rate, all these conversation in a, let us say, our friend Gopu, he is the candidate, and he may have said, I want $120,000 as my annual revenue. With one company, with another company, he may have said, I want $155,000. So how does he remember? Today he may be remembering everything in his mind, with the system, he will have his own portal. He can keep track of all his interactions, just like how recruiters track their interaction. Please.
Two questions. One, so how do you convince applicants to submit to this system?
Yes.
Point number two. And point number, point number one, point number two is there are potential problems with bias in
Yes.
the screening of
Yes.
applicants.
Yes.
And having a video of the person top and center
Yes.
is something that could potentially increase experiences of bias.
Yes.
How do you handle that?
How do we overcome? So two questions from our investor, Carol. Question number one, how do we convince candidates like Gopu who may hesitate? And we launched this in Chicago, and we had positions, we had candidates. I asked them, would you like to present your video resume? And in fact, Michael Dooley is a real candidate. I asked him once, he said, okay. So I asked 10 such candidates. One candidate said, I don't want to be presenting the video. And the other, I explained to her, you may have a better chance because other candidates are presenting themselves in video and you are not. So you are placing yourself in a disadvantage. And still she was okay, not having her video. She asked me just to present her resume. So that was the scenario. In other words, 9 out of 10 people seem to be open, especially in Chicago area. Number two, the example of discrimination, and that's a great reason. And in fact, this helps the opposite. Rather than it's hurting the discrimination factor, it's helping with the discrimination factor. Let us say I'm going to pick a company called 3M, right? And normally they may be normally, the company may be bringing 3% of a disadvantaged group. Now, with this tool, they can track and show. In fact, with this product, we are beginning to hire 4.5% rather than 3%. So, in fact, it has the positive side of bringing more disadvantaged people as part of the company's group, company's membership. Yeah, Jamie, you wanted to say something?
Yes, you talked about discrimination, and one of the things we really focus on is equal opportunity. We don't get enough candidates in different certain areas applying to us, and one of the concerns is when you're adding technology, we have some demographics that don't use the technology or don't have access or don't know how to use. How do we help make sure that all of these demographics have access and can apply?
Yeah, that's a great question. We want everybody to have this opportunity, and we are piloting initially. It happened to be Chicago area, and we have received, especially at this moment, we are targeting the technology candidates for this rollout. Initially, the reason is they are more technology savvy, and they are more open, so to speak. So initially we are opening it up for technology-oriented jobs to test our market. And so far we have been successful. And we believe everybody has a device these days, and it's over a period of time, everyone will have a device, and they see the benefit. There's a risk. Any approach has a risk. And this has the potential of being discriminated, and it will get ironed out over a period of time, over a period of 2000. In 2028, I'm thinking that will not be a concern, Jamie.
So, yeah, I see that you do work in healthcare, since I do have a healthcare background. I like your idea. However, the way they pick the candidate and their background, clinical experience, and applying to the residency also, all of us, even theoretically in the resume, we have high credential, but the way I see it is the way the program picks their candidate by having lunch and dinner with them and see if this candidate fits in the team you know,
Culturally,
socially. So,
socially.
when I get interviews, I find all of them from a specific area. Like, if they're Arabic speaker, their second language Arabic there. The way they see it, they choose a candidate that fit in, maybe because it's highly competitive process. Like you said, the range is 110 to fill one spot. They see 110 resume at least. So how you deal with this? How can you evaluate the clinical part, the clinical experience, if you don't have that same background, and how can you evaluate the social or like quality or fitting in the group?
Yeah, it's a great question, Marwat, right? We are building the solution incrementally I'm not experienced on the healthcare, but I'm following what you're saying. On the technology side, if I go to translate, is somebody experienced in a specific language, in a specific database? So we will provide some labs that will be attached to this system, and they will be they will be given a problem to solve the problem. So now the candidate is expected to solve the problem. We will see what ideas they are following. So we'll be expanding. I don't have the answer on the healthcare side, but I'm sure by spending few days, we can come up with a solution that will be both acceptable and also valuable.
Well, there's a product out there called LinkedIn where promoting. How does your product go beyond that offer?
Yes. LinkedIn, where we all get connected. In fact, that's a great segue. LinkedIn connects. Help me with your name, please. I forget. Frank. Sorry. LinkedIn helps me connect Frank and Edward, and there I can post, but it doesn't give the workflow. I don't in LinkedIn. I don't say I want to get paid this much. I don't. It doesn't allow a hiring manager to read the interactive resume that I am submitting. So the whole workflow in an employment situation is not provided in a LinkedIn situation. It's just connects and people come and they post what interests them. It doesn't help in a business workflow situation. In fact, I'm going to finish up quick. I'm going to borrow the idea of LinkedIn. Now we talked about companies like Robert Half and Manpower. This solution I just showed you, we are also, imagine this is copied multiple times, Robert Half, Manpower, and Randstad. Now we have 3 different companies, and one company is not able to fill. They got some people, but they cannot fill the position. They got a position, but they cannot fill people. They can borrow from Manpower, and Manpower they can borrow from Randstad. So we are linking, just like the idea of LinkedIn, just like how LinkedIn connects Frank and Edward. This Peasel, Robert Half, and Manpower, and Randstad as example. So it provides the entire workflow, not just within that company, but also across the company. So I envision by 2028, all these companies will be interacting with each other. And when Carol, a candidate looking for a job, it may be taking 40 days to fill that to find a job. I'm envisioning that will be shortened. Similarly, when a hiring manager, it may be taking 40 days to fill a position. It will be filled in a few days because of this technology. I know we have taken a lot of time, so I'm going to close and say, you have got $6 million. How are you going to invest in this enterprise, what I'm calling the Golden Queen Bee? I'm going to turn it over to our Toastmaster.